a branch lead of Parents of Rapid Onset Gender Dysphoria, and co-lead of Ourduty, an international group fighting against gender. She is a Democrat, but do not hold that against her because I love her. Erin is highly respected. I consider my friend. She is fearless. She is a warrior. She needs her army behind her to help her save our children and our future, because keep in mind, these children who are being indoctrinated right now will be in leadership one day. They will be our government officials, and that should frighten every one of you. So without further ado, Erin Friday.
Thank you for not throwing anything at me. I appreciate it.
We're going to get here. Just let us know when you want us to back.
Okay, so once upon a time, there was a Democrat who had two children 20 months apart. A girl and a boy. And the boy liked the things that the girl liked to wear. And so the boy got to wear dresses that the girl got to wear. And the boy liked Disney, and he would make princess dresses, and he would run around the house with his hammer in his princess dress, smacking things and punching things. Fast forward to 7th grade, and the boy was still quite the boy. But he had spent a year wearing dresses like his sister. His sister, however, who always wore dresses and was as girly comes, she had a pink room, pink dolls, so girly that it bothered me because I'm a bit of a tomboy. And she didn't play sports. She didn't like anything boy-like. And in 7th grade, she came home from her sex ed class at her public school, a public school where I volunteered endlessly. I ran fundraisers. I was there almost weekly. I knew all the teachers by name. I went out for drinks with them. I trusted them. The principal and I would hang out. She went to sex ed class, and I assumed, wrongly, that they would be teaching her science, that they would be teaching her something that's age appropriate, and I was sadly mistaken because they hired a third party to come in to teach my daughter about sex. They spent 5 hours a week doing that. The last hour was on gender ideology. So my daughter came home with her 4 girlfriends, and they sat in the front yard eating their snacks and talking about what labels they were. And I came out to fill up their juice boxes and hang out with them, and each of them had picked a label on the LGBTQ++, whatever the alphabet. One was pansexual. That was my daughter. She was kind, and she thought, I love everyone. Everyone should love everyone. I'm pansexual. Whoa, you're 11. A couple picked lesbian, a couple picked polyamorous. And then they looked at me and I said, what is this? And they all started to laugh. Ah, you're cis. You're old, Mom. You don't understand this. Wow. What the hell is cis? Oh, they all giggled. Boomer. Okay. So I went to parent class. The hell are they teaching our kids? I go to the parent class and I learn about, if you're not Barbie and you're not G.I. Joe, you're somewhere on the gender spectrum. And I laughed and I said, so we're all transgender, right? Because nobody's Barbie and nobody's G.I. Joe. Yeah. And then they started talking more about labels and gender expression versus sexuality versus, and I thought, gosh, I'm really dumb because I don't understand any of this. None of this is making any sense.
When was this? When was this?
2019. So I kept raising my hand and asking questions. Well, hold on a second. Why are we putting labels on children? I'm supposed to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Erin, and I go by she, her, and I like to have sex with who? Like, this is what I was being taught to do. This is what my child was being taught. And I looked around the room and I thought, hey, everyone else, are you losing your mind? Because I'm losing my mind right here. Is anybody else thinking that this is just a bunch of BS? And what are they teaching our kids? And there was silence. And I was told to stop talking and stop interrupting, but I didn't. I just continued raising my hand. And I was given a page, a whole page. I wish I had kept it, of all the different genders. Demi boy. I mean, none of it made any sense to me. All of it was gobbledygook, a new language. Gender is fluid. Well, if it's fluid, then why are we boxing them in? We'll answer questions after. But but I'm not understanding. We'll talk to you later. And then, of course, they packed their bags and off they went, and I was left with a child who now thought she was pansexual. Then, COVID. She moved from pansexual to lesbian, I think at one point, polyamorous. And COVID happened, and she was on her computer for a long time. All of our kids were on computers, and I thought I was a really on-it mom. You know, again, I gave the iPhone really late. We didn't have video games till late. I was the bad mom, according to my kids. I checked the phone, I knew the passwords. I guess I wasn't smart enough because she had fake accounts.
Yeah.
So she had a fake Twitter account and a fake Discord account, or actually I didn't even know what Discord was at the time. I didn't even know that Google Docs were live, that you can DM people on Google. And so you can have conversations with adults without me being able to see. So that's what happened. My daughter went down the rabbit hole into the internet on the school computer, right? That you can't block everything. And even if you tried, because I tried, believe me, I tried. YouTube, it all gets through. It all gets through. I learned in hindsight that my daughter was getting pushed pornography through her anime love, which is cartoon. Right? It looks cute. Mom sees it and I'm like, okay, it's cartoon.
It's a major vector, by the way, anime. Major grooming factor.
Well, anime turns into hentai. You don't want to know about that. Sure you do. Yeah, hentai is cartoon porn. But not just any cartoon porn with children. But since it's cartoon, it's not really illegal. Right? So it's pedophile behavior, aunts, uncles, animals, you name it, it's anybody. And kids get access to this. They don't just get access because they're looking for it, they get access because it's pushed out to them. Because it's all these algorithms. So these kids start out with something light. I mean, don't do this, but if you want to, I went to Pornhub because I had to. I had to see what my kids could potentially be exposed to. So I went to it and I looked for like regular sex. It's not there. But if you do find it, the next time you go on your phone, you get pushed to deeper and deeper and deeper demonic, really messed up stuff. And you can't get it off your phone. I couldn't get off of my phone. I had to actually put parental guide or blocks on my own telephone to stop it from coming to my phone. So fast forward, my daughter went through pan, poly, lesbian, then landed on trans. And once they land on trans, by the way, that's the end. That's when it's real, according to the psychologists and psychiatrists and the teachers and everyone else in the world. When trans, that's real now. It's not fluid anymore. That's when it stays. So she was going to her high school, and it's a pandemic, so she's not stepping one foot into that school. It's a public school. And I'm home, I'm right down the hall. And I hear her on her computer, and I hear a male name being used. What? And I see that a male name is now on the email. And all the projects are male names. My daughter, the pink one, the one who liked dolls, I had to set a timer for the American Girl doll store because I hated it so much. This little girl is now a boy? Oh, come on, nobody's gonna believe this. Really? So I called the school. I said, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you change my daughter's name? The first thing I gave that child was my body. The second thing I gave her was her name. And you took it. How dare you? Well, we didn't take it officially. It's just on some of her records, but we didn't officially change it. Well, no shit. I'm a lawyer. You can't officially change her name, only I can. Now. But it's coming, guys. Yeah, soon she'll be able to officially change her name. It's coming. Next year, there'll be a bill on it. So anyway, I read them the Riot Act, and they tell me they need a safe space for my child. Safe? She's down the hallway. What does she look like? Can you tell me the color of her hair, how tall she is? Is she fat, skinny? Is she allergic to peanut butter? Do you know any of these things? You're saying I'm unsafe, I guess. And yeah, they were. They were because CPS showed up in my house.
Oh my God.
Followed by the police.
Oh my God.
These things happen. Luckily, I threw the lawyer card, right? But here's the funny part, sad part. I actually thought they were there to help me. I actually thought, like, look, you guys are gonna understand. She's a girl, I birthed her. No one's out there to help you.
It's a money-making machine.
I got her a therapist. All right, that's the right thing to do. I got her a therapist. I thought I vetted her enough. No, not even close. This therapist told me that all that girly stuff my daughter was doing when she was little was working towards when she would come out as trans. It was to trick me. Whoa! All those memories I have of her, not true. I pulled out all the pictures. Oh no, I see them. For 2 years, she would only wear a dress. That was all a fake out? Amazing. Sign her up for Mensa. I mean, this therapist told me to forget my memory. That's what she told me. And then when I had a one-on-one with her and I called my daughter her female name because that's what her name is, she scolded me. She shamed me. So I kept calling therapists and psychiatrists, and the good ones were like, we don't touch that. I'm just really sorry for what you're going through, but yeah, we can't risk it. So here we are, alone. That's what a parent does. We're alone. There's no one out there helping us. Everyone is against us. Everyone is cheering our child's transgender identity on, including, by the way, a Catholic priest. Yep, that's true too. I got the suicide stat from him. Really. So there's no one to turn to. You're alone in this journey of hell, of trying to save your child. And all that stuff in that movie is true. The internet is telling my child, it's a cult. Oh, it's a cult. They told my child to use my first name. No longer was I called Mom. I was now Erin. She was told that. She was told how to emancipate. She had looked that up. She was told to run away. She was 13.
Trafficking.
13. So, very lucky to have Abigail Schreier's book come out right around the time when my daughter came out. And I went down the rabbit hole, as lawyers tend to do. I read everything. I read every study. I read and I read and I read, and I learned that all of this is a big fat lie. Of course, I already knew that because she's a girl. She may be a girl who likes boy things, but even that wasn't true.
Yeah.
Her favorite movie was Frozen. I mean, I have a son 20 months older. He wouldn't sit through 5 minutes of it. They're different. Lo and behold, shocker. So I took the phone. I bought a safe. I locked the phone up. I also had to lock up all the poisons and all the knives, because at that point she had read about the 40% likelihood of committing suicide, and she would say, I'm gonna die anyway, Mom. Transgender people kill themselves, and I'm gonna kill myself because that's what they say I'm going to do. So I had to be prepared for that. Maybe she would. She became suicidal when she took on the trans identity. She became depressed. She barely got out of bed. She stopped going to school, even online school. She barely ate. It was hell. And then when I took her phone, like that was like taking crack out of the hands of a crackhead. Really kind friends would drop off their old phones. I have a whole safe actually filled with like iPhone 4s and 5s if anybody wants one. So I pulled the phone, I changed schools, I forced all the friends that she was hanging out with to be gone. They didn't like coming to my house anymore because I searched their bags. I sent her to camps. We went on family trips. I sent her to see family, and thank God for my family that they were behind me 100%. And my friends were too, and they're all Democrats. They all circled around. And they said, because that's the other big lie too, is that this is Democrats are all for this. No, we're not. The people making these laws are. But not the rest of us, and they ignore us. I go to Sacramento, I don't know, once a week, twice a week, sometimes till 11:30 at night, so that I can have my 2 minutes of testimony. And they make fun of me, and they call me a bad parent, and they ignore me. Or worse, they won't put my name in the paper because why? Because, well, I'm a Democrat. Doesn't make the story. So let's go through this. Let's go through this presentation a little bit. But let me end with a good note.
What happened?
My daughter, she's back to being a girl, which she always was. She's happy in her female body, and this happened, of course, because we got her other mental health issues addressed. It's funny how the transgenderism fades away when you heal the mind and find out what's really going on. So let's talk about what happened in our world over the last, 10 years. This graph is from the UK because they have national health care. You can see this jump from, 2013 to less than 250 kids saying that they're transgender to 2020. That's 2,500. This is a jump of 5,000%. You go to the next one. This is another graph from the UK. Look at 2022. Now we're at 3,500 kids saying that they're transgender. No, this isn't a social contagion. Would you think anything in medicine grows to this effect? Nothing in medicine grows this profoundly without something strange going on. Will you go to the next one, please? In Australia, over 8 years, there's a 10-fold increase of kids saying that they're trans. These are all Western countries. Next one, please. In Canada, same thing. Look at all those spikes. Nothing, again, natural? Is this because there's no discrimination against trans people and they can suddenly come out as themselves? No, this is a lie. Okay, in the United States, we don't keep great records because we don't. Okay, so 2020 to 2021, gender dysphoria diagnosed doubled. Now, the gender dysphoria diagnosis, too, is a misnomer. It's made up. It's not real. It's supposed to be real, but it's not. All the child has to say is, I feel like I'm a boy, or I feel like I'm a girl, and they get this diagnosis.
Non-binary.
Or non-binary. Non-binary is the new one, right? Well, not that new one, but yeah, and you can get a diagnosis in 1 hour on the internet, and it's guaranteed. There's places. Go ahead, Google it in. You can get a diagnosis. Anyone here can get a diagnosis too, and a letter for surgery for free. It's amazing. The number of kids placed on puberty blockers doubled in the last 5 years. The number of kids on cross-sex hormones have doubled in the last 5 years. And it's strange, because where those clusters are, East and West Coast. But don't think if you're in a red state that you're safe either, because they sneak attack too in there. And they also, here in California, they pick on the farm areas too. They go into Fresno and they pick on the Hispanic community. Has been decimated because the parents may not read English, and so they have no idea what their kids are being taught at school. And they also don't think that they have a right or the ability to go into the school, so they're getting crushed. So they're taking advantage of an already disadvantaged group. In the United States, now this isn't underreported. 13 to 17 over 5-year period, at least 776. That's not even close. That's got to be triple. This is just one insurance group. It doesn't cover anybody who's paying out of pocket. 13. That's happening at UCSF here. 13. These girls haven't even been kissed. They don't even know what their breasts are for. Heck, at 13, if my mom said, you're gonna want those because you're gonna breastfeed a baby, I'd be like, ew, God, no. Gross. Right? That's a 13-year-old's mind. 13-year-old doesn't understand that breasts can be sexual organs too. Ew! Don't talk about that. It's gross. They don't know. Most of these kids never been kissed, and they're removing their body parts. 13 to 17, genital surgeries. 57, again, underestimate. They do that at UCSF, they do it at Children's, they do it at Stanford gladly. They'll do it outside of insurance for minors because they don't want the insurance companies questioning them. So these numbers aren't even close. Genital surgeries for minors. Again, these kids are virgins. They don't even know what those body parts are for. And they're doing this to children in the name of progress? Authenticity? And I'm the bigot and the hateful person because I said my daughter's body was just perfect the way it was? Just natural? We're the hate group? I don't get it. See how they twisted the language? So how did this happen? Okay, there's the Denton Law Group in 2019 wrote a playbook. Now they've been working on this before, but what they said was, let's get the kids in the game, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to stick to things that people can appreciate, that people like. Black Lives Matter, let's throw it in with that. Let's add trans to Black Lives Matter, that will work.
Corrupt as shit.
Huh?
They're corrupt as shit.
They-
I'm not even gonna say they're sugarcoat it.
They put in their paper, pass laws quietly, don't publicize them, don't do any, newspaper articles on the bills. That's what we've been doing in California for the last, well, 13 years, 14 years, they've been passing these little bills, and none of us, including me, were paying attention. None of us.
Teachers union.
So in 2020, they started, of course they started in the schools. You're right, it's schools, because we've got to get the kids. Because the kids will change the generation. I mean, who in here heard of the word trans child 10 years ago? No one. And somehow now that's a real word. There are no transgender children. Not one. There's a child who might be confused. There might be a child who's gender non-conforming, and what does that mean? That means a boy who likes to wear dresses every once in a while, like my son did.
Tomboy.
Yeah, tomboy. I mean, we all are a little masculine, we all are a little feminine. I like to rake, I like to use a saw. That doesn't make me a man. Men like to cook, that doesn't make him a woman. So these sneak attacks happened, and there's so many bills. In 2007, 2010, they really got us. 2010 was the kicker.
You missed a one important law, which is 2014, they passed a law, SB something, which basically mandates the school not to charge parents if the child is sex or something.
No, that's not true. I'll get back to that. Nope. No. So
Folks, we're having Q&A, so let's stand by.
2010, in 2010, they started to say, parents are bad. We are deemed abusive before being taken to court on that. So these kids need to get mental health outside of parents' knowledge, because we parents won't let them. We're unkind parents, and the kids need to go and get mental health, and they need to keep it secret from us. So they do it at school. So we don't ever know. You don't ever know that your child's going to the school counselor. Your child can be going to the school counselor every single day, and you don't know. And you don't know what they're talking about. That was the bill. And they promoted it as, and this was Arnold Schwarzenegger, I believe, who passed it. They positioned it as, well, there's some kids whose parents are immigrants, and those immigrant parents don't believe in mental health. So, they pulled on the heartstrings. Oh, of course, we don't want all these kids committing suicide. They used the suicide thing in 2010. We've got to prevent it. We've got to make sure. Well, lo and behold, it's 2023, and our suicides for children are at their highest ever. So that bill never did what it was supposed to do, which was to help children's mental health. Our children have worse mental health year after year after year after year. Suicide grows also. But they tricked us, and we all fell for it, or none of us paid attention. I didn't pay attention. And then we get to 2013, the bathroom bills, the sports bills, where anyone can say whatever gender they are, and they can use the facilities that relate to their own gender. And we fought it then, but it was too late, because they had spent, years already building this into our school district. They had put in that they need to teach about transgender people in the social sciences. So here's a story. Here's a story. So, the stagecoach, the Wells Fargo stagecoach, that was in the 1880s. A woman drove it. She wore pants. Oh, must be a man. She wore pants. She had a job. She owned a house. And she was in a relationship with another woman. And they changed our history, and they said, she was the first transgender, or was transgender. Well, in 1880s, women could not own property. They couldn't hold jobs. So do you think maybe she was just pretending she was a guy so that she could have a relationship with a woman and have a job and own property? Sure. But they changed it. So they lie about history to make strong women be men. How misogynistic is that? A strong woman has to be a man. Okay, 2016, we get comprehensive sex, and I can go on forever on that, but it's so inappropriate what they're teaching our kids. It's so disgusting and so insane. There's a mom here who took pictures of me took pictures for me about what is available in her school's counselor's office. There's trans tape that's tape to bind down women's breasts. You can make a fake penis if you like. You can tuck if you like. And this is all available at your public schools on your tax dollars. That's what they're teaching our kids. She also sent me a questionnaire that has 1 through 10. How likely are you to engage in anal sex? These are going out to our high schoolers, 9th grade. Who collects these and who keeps these? Oh, those third parties. Who are they? I don't know. But they know a lot about our kids. So here you go. This is a great picture. This is 2007. I don't know if you can see that little red dot. That's the gender clinic for kids. One in 2007. That's us now, and there's probably more dots. So you ask, why is this happening? Well, each one of these children is worth $1 million to $1.5 million. Because they're lifelong medical patients. These are profit centers. You can invest in Plume, an online seller of hormones. And what's cool, what they do too, is they partner with Stork. So when you're sterilized, you can buy a baby through them or through one of their partners. There's so much money. This is an $11 billion industry, right? ESGs, anybody investing in ESGs? You're investing in this. Okay, so now I'm just going to end it on a really high note because I know I'm making less than I talk. This is a girl. This is a girl with her breast removed, and she has, do you see the marks, all the scars on her arm and over her chest? That is from her cutting. That is her self-harming herself. And then she paid the medical community to do the last self-harm to her. They did it, knowing that she has mental illness, cutting herself so deeply that she has these deep scars on her body. That's what we're doing. This is a phalloplasty. So that's actually a nice picture. I could have shown you something grosser, but they cut all the way down to the bone and to the ligaments. You see that every day, right? For something that will be hidden in the pants and doesn't work. That's what we're doing to little girls, 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds. That's what we're doing, and we're paying it with our tax dollars. Okay. So now I'm going to introduce. Where are you? Yeah, I know. Good. Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, sorry. There's one last gross thing. Okay, all right. I hope everybody's finished their meal. But right down the street we have Align Surgery. Align Surgery does nullification surgeries. You can go to their website and check it out. You'll never unsee it. But they're proud of their work. Not only do they nullify so they can sew up the vaginal cavity, they create just a little hole. Think of Wetsy Betsy from the 1970s, the doll that he fed water and it just came out. That's what they're doing. This is called nullification surgery. Again, is this life-saving for anyone? 'Cause I don't think it's life-saving. That is, yeah. And now they're one-upping it, and they are now leaving men with their penises and creating vaginas on top of it. Or behind it, I guess it's behind it. And same thing for the women. So they're actually creating hermaphrodites, which doesn't exist actually in humans. So, with that gross ending. With that gross ending. Oh, and by the way, there's a document that's being passed around if you want to get on the mailing list on how to fight this in the legislature and how to get calls to action. I don't send them out very often, so I won't clog up your emails, but it will be simple things on what you can do to start changing what is happening. I make it really easy. I write all the letters for you. You just sometimes have to hit a button.
Mention our duty.
Yes, oh, our duty. Did we not talk about our duty?
No.
Yeah, we did. Okay. So I am with Our Duty, and join us. You don't have to be a parent with a kid in this. We are advocates. You can help us do anything, help write letters, help speak, help come up to Sacramento with me and testify. Just come up and say your name and that you oppose a bill. We take everyone and anyone. If you're against this, please join Our Duty, and I'll put you to work even if it's one phone call.